Thanks for coming, man.
Sure, no problem.
We are live. You mean we're gonna stream this?
It's being streamed.
Record.
It's how we're recording it. So other people can watch it later on.
What's up, guys?
What's up?
Just doing the class right now. So I guess, do we want to kind of recap anything from the last class before we get into it?
Yeah, that would be nice. For I wasn't there the last time.
Well, alright. We were talking mostly, we just scratched the surface last time. We talked about the gear to the ZVZs, GVGs, Hellgates, and we were talking about combinations of gear mostly, like what people use, what is good with each other, and what is not really working out right now because the patch is not for it. I'm not sure how much we want to go deeper than this, like for a recap, because we seriously just scratched the surface.
Yeah, I'd say just watch the video.
Yeah.
You share the link again? Sorry. Just put it in the Discord.
Here in a few I can. I'm kind of doing something at the moment.
No problem.
So this time, I think we should more focus on something that's really interesting for you, what you guys want to hear, and not just go all over the place and just scratch the surface. So I would like to ask you guys, would you like to talk about ZVZ, or would you like to go talk about Hellgates or GVGs? I think I can go one by one, but we don't really have that much time, so I would like you guys to choose which one is most interesting for you right now.
Most curious about ZVZ.
I think majority of the healers are really getting deep into ZVZ, so that'd probably be the most relevant right now.
Very well. That's actually good for me. Very well. So, have you guys been doing ZVZs lately? Have you guys seen some bigger fights or something? Or we mostly just do like 10 people versus 10 people, and
no, we did.
We don't really get.
We did castles against 404.
Okay.
Last night.
How much people against was it?
We had about 25, and they had about somewhere between
200
and 200. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
They had significantly more than us.
Yeah.
But
I heard that. Yeah, I heard that the ZVZ scaling, like the damage debuff and shit like that, if you have more people, is actually really good now. It's actually doing what it should be doing, and if you have a group of like 40 people, you can literally like wipe a 150 man Zerg if they just fucked up really hard, because you can just tank so much compared to them.
Yeah, the way Era 404 was taking advantage of that is they kept about 150 people out of zone.
Oh, okay.
So they just had 60 and just replaced them as they were.
Yeah. See. Then they just torn you down by in time.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I mean, we killed a few. We got a good clap off and then got murdered horribly.
Very well. So I'm gonna do a recap of weapons in ZVZ, and then I'm gonna talk a little bit about what to do in a ZVZ as a healer, because there are some few roles that you can do in ZVZ as a healer. It's not just you stay back, away, and just put stuff on the floor. You can actually be a frontline healer as well, for like a shot caller who you can be his like a pocket bitch. You just heal him and stuff. So I'm gonna go for a gear. If you go for nature in a ZVZ, you're most likely gonna see a rampant staffs lately. They're really good when it comes to their E. They're actually healing 10 people at the same time. That's why they're so favorite compared to the wild staff, which is like stable AoE on the floor, but can only heal 5 people at a time. So that's the big disadvantage. Just like the double numbers when it comes to targets that you can heal is really significant. If you look at the nature's other spells, Q and W, on the W you can use cleanse on the nature staffs, or you can use the breeze. The breeze spreads the stacks from one person to 10 others, You can just stack 3 times yourself with your Q and then just spray to 10 people. It really keeps the people healthy. They don't need to, they don't need to run back. They can just stay moving forward. It can help the Zerg a lot. And because if you're playing this breeze, you most likely want to hear you most likely want to play with a Q single target, so you can just Q yourself or someone next to you 3 times and then just use it. Or you can use the cleanse, which is really helpful if the enemy is like stun heavy. They use the big logs for stuns or maces that will root your allies for a long time. And with the cleanse, you can literally save your Zerg. If the enemy is engaging, you can see a big clump. You can see that the guy is just gonna go there and just stun all of them. You can help them immediately, and because of that, a lot of enemy can actually waste their attacks on the spot where no one is actually stunned anymore because you cleanse them. And with the cleanse, you want to use the mushroom on Q, which will be on the floor, and if it's popped, it will heal 5 people in the AoE. Not heal, but give stacks to the 5 people in AoE. But it's a longer cooldown. It's a little bit more mana heavy, so you need to be a little bit wiser if you're not wasting them that much. When it comes to holies, I actually picked, what is it, Fallen Staff? I think Fallen Staff is the most useful in the ZVZs. Or you can use Great Holy for the regular ZVZ stuff. Fallen Staff, amazing E, which cleanses and heals a lot.
Sorry to interrupt, but you should be able to join Brave Vanguard Island now.
Okay. With the Fallen Staff, you can use a E if you see like a clump of people who most likely gonna get really huge damage or are just falling back and they're already like half HP. You can just put it on the ground. If they're getting stunned while or booted or silenced or anything while being waiting for the heal, when the heal pops, it will actually cleanse them as well, and it's a huge heal. It heals for like a half HP most of the people, so that's amazing. And when it comes to Great Holy, the E is not that great, but it can actually help you because it pushes the enemy away. So you can use it on your like backline if you have like fire mages or frosts, and the enemy is using brawlers like bloodletters or galantines and stuff like that to like attack your backline. You can literally just push them while healing your ally. So that's the big advantage. But it's only 5 targets, and you actually have to stay there and cast the spell. So that kind of suck. For holy Qs, you definitely want to use generous heal instead of the flash heal, because if you're using flash heal, it seems like it's actually healing more or something like that, but it means you're staying on a one spot and just casting it non-stop, so you're not moving. And if you're moving, you're not healing. With the generous heal, you can do few steps, heal, few steps, heal, and that's in a Zerg you need to move. If you're not moving, you're most likely dead already. So that's for the Q. On W, the really strong thing is Holy Orb, and it can be misused quite easily because it pops on the first target. It actually hits, but if you position yourself a little bit to the side from the Zerg, so you can actually have a straight direction towards your front line as well, it can heal them by a lot. And it's 10 targets as well, so that's the big advantage again. Just the 10 targets is just better than anything else. I think I saw people use Sacred Pulse, but I think it's not healing. It's not healing more targets now, so I think that's off. I think they changed it a few patches before. So generous heal, Holy Orb, and then the E. It doesn't matter if it's Great Holy or Fallen Staff. And another staff for Holy that is being used, but for a different kind of healer, is the... what is it called? Give me a second, I have it over here. It is, yes, Divine Staff. If you guys are playing a frontline healer for your shot caller, you want to use Divine Staff, and that's because of the E. It's just saving your single target important VIP that you're gonna have in a Zerg. And for that, you definitely want to use as much defensive items others than the normal healers. So Fallen Staff, Great Holy, if you're a frontline healer, Divine Staff, amazing. if you're playing the regular healers in a ZVZ, you want to stay in a like between your backline and a little bit towards your front line, so you can see like when the tanks are engaging and stuff. If you don't use like a fast boots, because most likely you want to use scholar sandals for really quick move, it gives you mana. And if you're not using those, you're using something else for run, you want to be a little bit more further back. But if you have scholar sandals, you can actually move really fast, really long distance, and you can stay a little bit to the front. Important thing is to use your defensives in time. I'm not sure if you guys ever got popped in one hit, for example, from Wailing Bow or from Meteor and stuff like that. But if you're not popping your defensives in time, you can get one shot at most of the time from these things. Well, what about guys who are healing here? How do you feel in the ZVZ as a healer right now?
Useless.
Really?
Well, I need to work on positioning, I think.
Do you guys feel like you're not healing enough, or you're dying too early, or you're not able to help the Zerg?
Yeah, that's how what I feel, but I think I just need more practice.
Mainly just standing around watching everybody else do the work.
Okay. So you feel like if you're not doing damage, if you're not killing people, you're not doing as much as you could.
Not really damage, but buffing and helping take down mobs as opposed to just standing there and healing when someone is actually.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And how often do you guys do ZVZ actually in Brave Newbies? Is it like every day, or
No.
you do it? No.
I've been on a few. Usually we have the, at the reset, we make sure we get that up. And then we've done a few like faction.
Oh, okay. Have you guys been enjoying faction warfare? Because I saw a lot of people are actually doing it, even though like people from Black Zone don't usually engage in it. But actually, it actually seems like a lot of fun. I saw a lot of this faction warfare in front of the Limhers, and it was actually pretty good.
I think we were just using it for experience in a ZVZ situation kind of deal, less about the actual faction.
Okay, gotcha. Very well. So, do you guys have any questions about the gear and stuff? Because I talked about it last time, but if you guys think that you want to actually ask about something that bothers you. No? Nothing? All right. I'm gonna come to the island. I have to be naked because you guys are not in Carleon, right?
No.
Correct.
See ya. Very well. So, when it comes to healing in a Zerg, it's really important to understand how many healers you have. I think you know that if you don't have any healers, you're gonna die anyway. So like in time, certainly. You can't out damage the enemy if you don't have a healer. So you guys need to make sure that you're not gonna die in a few sphere engages of the enemy. That's why we are using stuff like Mercenary Hood, which cleanses you. That's why we use stuff like Martlock capes, Fort Sterling capes. Fort Sterling cleanses you when you get first stunned. Martlock actually gives you extra protection when you get under, I think, 30% HP or something. That's gonna help you a lot, and that's why we are using Cleric Rope. If you take in damage and you pop it, it will give you 3 seconds of invulnerability, and that's gonna do a lot for you.
So, just real quick, you would not recommend necessarily the Limhurst cape with and the ZVZ?
No, I would not. It's fine. Okay, give me holy then. If you have fallen. Yeah. There's gonna be I think if Syndic will allow the red team to come again, there's a lot of important things to understand from the shot caller perspective. How do Zerg moves? And you guys are a little bit as a healers, you don't really do the same thing as tanks and DPS because you need to be you need to be you need to think a little bit for yourselves when you think the enemy will strike. Yeah, sure. Divine is fine. Divine is fine. So when the Zerg moves, you don't necessarily need to move with them as exactly as they are because you don't engage on the enemy. You most likely want to be there when the enemy engages on you. So you want to watch the enemy tanks how they are moving. You want to see your Zerg when they are staying together because when you have 5 people on the same spot and there's a tank nearby of an enemy, he is most likely going to jump on those 5 guys there. So you want to watch about that. You don't really need to be at the same position as the DPS because the shot caller is going to call for the DPS to bomb on that side, and they need to be in that position. But you need to be you can be on a little bit to the side. You can watch them if they are actually getting counter engaged, and you want to react on the enemy in that case. Mercenary hood, cleric robe, scholar sandals. I think the rope doesn't matter right now, but if you have 4 sterling, and I'm using defensive scape. That's why I'm using energy potions for me, because the cape is actually it will pop on itself. Well, for example, I'm being stunned or anything else, but I can't pop potion while I'm being stunned. So the potion won't help me if I'm being stunned. That's why I prefer the defensive scapes compared to defensive potion in this situation. Yeah, no. it's a meme, don't worry. It's fine. Okay then. So who do we have here? We have a one-headed nature. One-headed nature actually looks like a good idea in a ZVZ, but its problem is if you pop its E, it only heals 5 people, and that's one.
Yeah,
that's,
I only have it out right now. It's
yeah.
I usually use a rampant when I do CBZ.
And the sad story is that one of those 5s is always you. Doesn't matter like if you have stacks or not. It's always C1. So only 5 other players will get the heal. Well, if you want to, sure. Sure. Most of the surviving is being in a good position. You need to see if you like how your Zerg moves as well, how the enemy Zerg moves as well, and be a little bit ahead of them. Okay, some healer over here. Wanna jump on me? And I just run. See ya, fucker. Yeah. That's why I'm using 4 sterling cape, because if I had 4 sterling cape, that cleanse would be completely immediate.
I'd have to go to the bank to get one. Yep.
For sterling cape is actually doing that the moment you actually get CC'd, it will cleanse. So you don't really have any like a 0.2 second delay. It's almost immediate. So I don't have to wait for me to press the cleanse or anything. It's just immediate. I don't even see the stun being effective on me. So that's really great. That's why I love for the sterling cape. The other cleanse is because the cleanse from Mercenary Hood is actually AoE on 5 targets, if I'm right. It actually doesn't say how many targets, but I counted as a 5. So if you actually get in a clump, you don't have your cape, and then you get stunned with other guys, you can just cleanse helmet and. Oh yeah. Like it doesn't say it has a limit, but sometimes this game just doesn't say things. That's the problem of this game.
Chiron.
Just
Hey,
anyone has the force
question
link?
about
I have
the
it.
Fork Sterling Cape.
See if I can find you. I'll give it to you.
Will it still interrupt spell casting?
Yes, it will. It will. It will still interrupt for spell casting because it's actually it actually does a stun. It just doesn't like when you're trying to run away, normal speed, like no boost, but if you feel like no channeling stuff, it won't. You won't really feel the stun. I will try to duel you. Oh, wait, where are you dueling? Okay, it's fine, it's fine. I wanted to show the force link. Okay.
I'm ready.
Okay. Okay. I would still recommend the Scholar Sandals if you guys want to get spec in it, because its big advantage is if you pop it, you not only get really big move speed for a long distance, you also regain mana. So even though if you don't need to use your boots for anything else, you can still use it for mana gain. And healer without mana is just as healer. But if you have a spec in anything else, I just run is fine for ZVZ. Okay, I'm just gonna go in straight line. Okay, and stun me. See, I technically didn't even stop. So that's the amazing of Force Sterling Cape. If I got stunned by some other things, I can just cleanse it with my mercenary roots. So if you guys have a problem that you get stuck on for a long time on the same spot because of the CC chains, I would recommend you use the Force Sterling Cape and mercenary root at the same time. You could also use a Knight Helmet for immunity for displacements, but they actually nerf it. It was 10 seconds, now it's 6 seconds. So you would really need to have a good timing on those. But if you see a soul side heavy ZVZ composition of the enemy, having a few Knight helmets actually can save the whole Zerg. Have you guys seen the tornado from Soulside? Oh, okay. I actually have to leave in like 2 minutes for the Crystal GVG.
Nice. I'm ready for the next ZVZ.
Yeah, just if you have a problems being like staying alive in the ZVZ, just be a little bit more careful, be a little bit further from your tanks, and don't get too close to the enemy. Sometimes there's just nothing you can do. Sometimes your tanks actually need to do a lot of work as well, disrupting the enemy DPS and stuff. But yeah, it's not always on the healers because that someone dies. Is there someone who I can trade the stuff that I got? Oh, okay.
You can trade me if you want, and I'll make sure we'll
Okay.
straight to you.
If you guys want to be versatile in a ZVZ, I would recommend you to play Fallen Staff, because even if you're doing anything like any kind of ZVZ, Fallen Staff is always a good choice. But still, you definitely want to get some nature spec in the Rampant as well, or in the Wild Staff if you are worried that you want to get much spec in the Artifact weapon. Yeah. I still haven't seen them.
20 to 25. Yeah.
Ooh, so they actually increased the cooldown. I think that's fine actually.
What about healing sickness duration being increased from 2 seconds to 5 seconds?
That's actually big for ZVZ, like really big, because with the ZVZ escalation that they introduced, so the more people you have, the less damage you do, less healing you do, and now if you have actually more people, it means a more healing reduction. So that's just addition to this kind of nerf. But I will have to prepare for 20 UTC. Oh, sorry, 20 UTC GVG as well. So I'm probably done for today. If you guys have some questions, you can actually send me a message on Discord, and I will just answer you.
Appreciate you coming out.
Gotcha.
And doing this.
Thank you, bud.
Yeah.
Well,
Thank you.
all right. Thank you too as well. See you guys
Cheers,
for now.
guys. Thank you.
See you later,
Yeah.
mate.